Happy Sunday. Interesting topic today. We are talking about core wounds. This is good. This is good. Now, I want to preface this with two things. Number one, we are all responsible for our own actions, inactions, attitudes, behaviors, and the consequences. So don't say, oh, it's somebody else's fault. No, baby, it's your fault. If you did something, it's on you. It's not on them. Okay? Number two, core wounds don't just happen in childhood. They happen throughout our life. That is big. People don't realize that. Anything that has happened in your life that cuts you to the core, that affects the way you think and feel and respond to situations every day, if it makes you pull away, if it makes you not want to trust people, not want to have relationships, core wound. Okay? So let's talk about just a few. So we'll start with childhood core wounds because that's the most common. Most people have experienced some type of childhood core wound, whether it's the death of a pet, a grandparent, a parent, a sibling. Those are core wounds because that's going to hit you right in here, right? Okay. Other core wounds would be toxic environments, growing up in a horrible toxic environment. Arguing, screaming, yelling, door slamming, people getting mad and walking out, maybe gone for hours, maybe gone for days or longer. Parents, siblings, off to rehab, in and out of rehab or jail all the time. Sexual abuse, drug addiction. In some families, their norm is when things get tough, when there's a problem, a crisis, instead of sitting down and talking it out as a family, they beat somebody up. They reach for a bottle, they reach for some pills, they reach for weed, they go gambling, they go shopping, they leave for days. That's toxic. That's not normal, honey. So to a child growing up in that environment, to them that's their norm. That's all they know. So by the time they're 10 or 12 years old, that's how they're going to respond to a crisis or a problem. From the age of 0, when you're born, up to when you're 10 or 12-ish, those are what I call the building block years. That's when you're learning your norm. That's when you're learning, in my family, this is how we handle stress. This is how we handle problems. This is what we do when XYZ happens. And that's your norm. It doesn't mean it's healthy. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's legal. But for that child, that's their norm. And I want to stop right here. And so anybody that identifies with any of this, I want you to stop and think. Okay, you're thinking, oh my God, that poor kid, or maybe that was you. Look at your parents. Were they raised that way? Were they raised in an environment of abuse, drugs, alcohol, neglect, abandonment? Because these are learned behaviors. Look at their parents. Were their parents raised that way? Many times it's a generational trauma. The grandparents were raised a certain way, and that's how they raised their kids. And so your parents, that's all they know. That's how they raise you. And here you are. Generational trauma that are core wounds. They result in core wounds. So now we can identify the problem and address it. Also, for children, if they have a sick parent, sibling, family member, and they're continually told, shh, be quiet. You're going to bother so-and-so. Go to your room. I don't have time to deal with you right now. So-and-so isn't feeling well. See what you've done, you woke up the baby. See what you've done, you woke up so-and-so. Now you've upset them. Now this, now that. That's not right. That's emotional abuse. And if you're just continually sent to your room to keep quiet, don't make a sound. Your feelings don't matter. That's what you're being taught. Your feelings don't matter, go away. That's abandonment. That's emotional abandonment. I'm not saying they did this intentionally. Maybe they did. But it's not healthy. It's not good. And it's going to be reflecting in your life as an adult. If you are doing this to your children now, stop and take notice. Make some changes. As an adult, we have our core wounds. You know, from the time you're, I don't know, high school, maybe, you know, you start having your first loves and your first breakup, which can just be earth-shattering to a child. It's the norm, but at the time it doesn't feel so good. That usually is not a core wound unless it involves being physically assaulted or sexually assaulted. Those are core wounds that will live with you forever. So we have the first loves. We have committed relationships. College and on, you know, after you graduate college, you're in a committed relationship. And somebody steps out and they cheat on you. That can hurt. Depending on the situation and the circumstances, it may just, you know, in a month you're over it. For others, it's a big thing. The first time you're cheated on is a big thing because then you're going to doubt. I trusted this person with my soul. I can't trust anyone now. Core wound. If you were involved with someone and they stepped out and got someone else pregnant, that can be a huge core wound, especially if you have been determined, you know, you can't have kids. You don't want kids. And there's nothing wrong. If you don't want kids, that's fine. Nobody can judge you for that. That's your business. But it's a biggie. And, you know, it's going to hurt. When we are cheated on, it hurts. When you're betrayed by a friend, a best friend, a coworker, whatever, that hurts. If that betrayal costs you a marriage, a relationship, that's probably going to be a core wound. If it costs you your job, that's definitely going to be a core wound. Because then you've lost something you treasured because of somebody else being an ass. And you're gonna feel that for a while. You're not gonna trust people. You're gonna be careful with your relationships. Who do I tell things to? Who can I trust? Are they gonna stab me in the back too? So there's a lot of core wounds. Lots of different kinds of core wounds. Just know, if it happened in your life and you're still behaving differently afterward, for I would say after a month or two, if it's affecting how you're thinking and how you're feeling, it's a core wound. So what do we do about it? Acknowledge it. We do not point fingers. We do not cast blame. That's not getting anybody anywhere. That's just wasting everyone's time. We know where it came from. Okay, fine. Let's do something about it. So this is where you have to accept responsibility for your own actions, inactions, attitudes, behaviors, and the consequences. Okay? You have to step up. Whatever is happening, however you're behaving in your life toward other people, you're responsible for that. You're the one doing it. These other issues may be the driving factor, but you are the one, you know, being mean, nasty, snarky, spiteful, hateful. You may be the one withdrawing and isolating in your house and being in bed by 6 o'clock crying. You're the one doing it. So you have to adjust your behavior and your outlook, okay? See the situation for what it is. See people for who they are, honey, not for who you want them to be, not for who you wish they were. Do not accept responsibility for other people's actions. If somebody cheated on you, they cheated, you didn't, it's on them. They cannot say, well, you drove me to it. No, you didn't. Not unless you literally let them in your car and you drove them to somebody else's house. It's on them. It is totally on them. Don't buy into the gaslighting and the manipulation that you drove someone to something. No, you didn't. It doesn't work like that. If your parents told you growing up, we got a divorce because of you. Your father left because of you. Your mother left because of you. They left because they wanted to leave. They left because they wanted out. Don't let anyone blame you, especially never, ever, ever blame a child. It does not work like that. Children are victims. Don't cast blame on a child. Don't even think about that. That's awful. So this is an exercise that I do with my clients, and it works. I actually do this in my own life twice a day, every day. It's just kind of brings me back to center a little bit. So we know where the core wounds are coming from. We figured that out, right? And we're not casting blame. We're going to forgive ourselves, right? Because we're human, we mess up. It's okay. If you're being a real jerk to somebody, go to them and apologize, please. Just go and say, don't bring up the core wound part, but just say, look, I'm in therapy now. I'm talking to someone. If you are, I would encourage it. I'm sorry. I figured out what's going on in my life. I've been a jerk. I'm sorry. Give me another shot. I'll do better. A friend will probably understand. If they don't, that's okay too. So here's what we're going to do. Not knowing everybody's religious beliefs, and this is going out on social media, so it's going to be touching the lives of all kinds of religions, all kinds of cultures, all kinds of people. So I keep it very broad, okay? Okay. So we're going to release and remove, that means let go, and we're going to send to white light, and that white light can be the light of Christ, the light of God, the light of the universe. I don't know your religious beliefs, so adapt it to you, okay? This is all positive stuff. It's never anything negative, harmful. I don't do negative, harmful. I don't do trauma drama in my own life, let alone negative and harmful, okay? We're going to start. I release and I remove all things in my life that are negative, toxic, stagnant, harmful, dangerous, and do not serve my greater good. Okay? I release and I remove and I send to white light all people, relationships, and connections in my life that are negative, toxic, harmful, dangerous, stagnant, and don't serve my greater good. I release and I remove and I transmute to white light. I send to white light. All situations, circumstances, environments that are negative, dangerous, toxic, harmful, stagnant, that means they're not going anywhere, that do not serve my greater good. I release and I remove and I send to white light all core wounds from the time I was born to this very day. Core wounds that include core wounds from mother figures, that would be mothers, grandmothers, aunts. Core wounds from father figures, fathers, grandfathers, uncles. Core wounds from siblings and people that I feel are like a sibling. Core wounds from family. Core wounds from extended family, core wounds from within the community, school, work, church, the neighborhood. Core wounds from all relationships I have had. Core wounds that have been self-inflicted, self-sabotage, self-destructive cycles and patterns and behaviors. I release, I remove, and I send, transmute to white light all of these things as they do not serve my greater good and higher purpose. Now let them go to God. Let them go to the universe. You've released it. You've let it go. You've let it go. It's not yours now. You've let it go. This should help. You might have to say it a few times. Seriously, I do it every morning and every night. Absolutely. Never fail. Because I have clients, I have people I know, and not all of them are good people. And in my line of work, if I work with someone, there's a bit of a connection, and I have to break that. I have to let it go. And this can impact your life I know it sounds simple. You know, it's like saying, well, how can saying a few words make a difference? Honey, it can make a difference. Say it and believe it, it can make a difference. It can change your world. I promise, it can change your world, and you are worth it. I want you happy. I want you healthy, physically and mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. I want you to be comfortable practicing self-care, doing nice things for you. Self-care is basically doing something for yourself that makes your heart smile. There are people that due to their core wounds, they can't do that. They feel they don't deserve happiness. They don't deserve to feel good. We all deserve happiness. So don't let your core wounds run your life. Let's work through them. Let's do self-care every day. Do something every day, absolutely every day, that makes your heart smile. Look at a picture, listen to your favorite song, have a cup of your favorite coffee, whatever it is. And while I'm talking about the subject, just really, really quick, if you have panic attacks, if you have anxiety and it just really gets to you, here's the nice trick. Find out what makes your heart smile the most. It could be a song, it could be a photo, it could be a fragrance. Think. Figure out what it is and keep it with you. For me, I keep my cologne with me. I wear Gucci. And I spray it on, of course, every day. I keep it in my purse. For some people, it will be a song, maybe a prayer, a poem, a photo of your dogs, your cats, your kids, your spouse, whoever, your favorite vacation spot, whatever makes your heart smile. And when you start feeling that anxiety build, when you start feeling, this person is on my last nerve, I cannot deal with this person another moment, think of the song, listen to the song, look at the picture, smell your cologne. If it's a favorite gum or candy, keep it in your purse, pull it out. Do something to make your heart smile right then. Think of it, and it will bring you back to baseline. No one is worth stealing your peace. No one, no thing, no memory, no core wound is worthy of stealing your peace. You are worthy of peace and happiness and joy, and we're going to get there, okay? It may take a little work. You may have to listen to this a few times, but baby, you're so worthy, okay?